morning, hello, good evening. I don't know what time it is for you. Welcome to another Fiberific live craft and chat. I am sitting here in the shack. Got the aircon pumping, so I'm sorry if the noise is bad. I've done some setting changes for my audio, so let me know if it is painful for you. I got a message from Kelly, who is one of our regular Fiberifians, saying that she was having a problem with the audio, and I had a look into it, and I'm not sure if I've fixed it or not or what, but it's definitely a bit better. Yeah, so we'll see if it's better for everybody or not. So sorry, I've missed all you guys for ages. My throat has been like a little ball of fire that just sort of sits not there but at the back of there. It's not great today even. It's a lot better than it was last time or last week or even yesterday. She said that the problem was that the volume levels in the different headphones, because she wears headphones, one was very quiet to the point that it was nearly mono. So I've tried to balance it out a little bit. I'm just messing with the volume a little. I keep peeking into the yellow, so I'm just etching that down a little. So it might be getting a little quieter than what you're used to through this. So welcome to everybody who's in the chat. You can't hear the aircon, Josephine. That is good to know, because I am not turning it off. It is stuffy and muggy and horrible in here today. It's Chintamani. Oh no, one of her dogs has diabetes. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry to hear that. It's been a bit painful. I've just realized that I had my lippy, but I forgot to put it on. Oh well. Sounds fine on your phone. Awesome, Chintamani. Awesome. Welcome to everybody who joins in the live chats. We've got some stuff to chat about this week, so hopefully I survive. I've gone back to the old trustworthy T2 licorice legs tea, just to see if that can help me, you know, push through. My craft of choice today is I have my spindles out with some fluff, so I'll get that going a little later. So one of the things I want to talk to you about is it is 2021. I'm not sure if you knew that, but it is. 2021 here, and I have decided, I'm wearing earbuds and it seems even between sides for me. Yeah, well, I mean, it should be even now, Kim, because I've balanced it. It wasn't balanced before, it was really off. Hello, Jen Keeling. Welcome to your first live craft and chat. I hope that you enjoy it here. We don't have too many rules. Just, you know, be nice to each other and be nice to me, or I might cry on camera, and, you know, nobody wants to see that. So one of the things I want to talk about, oh gosh, I've bumped it a light. Hang on a second. I have to fix it. It's going to do my head in. It's causing a shadow that I don't like. Okay. All right. Some of the things I want to talk about are what's happening with Fiberific in 2021. This isn't the entire list, but it is some things. It's some things that I wanted to talk about. So if you shop at fiberific.com.au, you will have noticed some slight changes in the online store. Now, what's happening is I've decided that I really want to focus here with you guys on YouTube, and to make it so that I have enough time to do that, to spend all my time with you here on YouTube, is that I want to sell less physical stock, which I know sounds bizarre. So what I'm going to be doing is, as things run out, there will be some brands that I do not reorder. So I will be keeping Chiagu, Margicraft, and Clover. They will absolutely be staying. There'll be a couple of others that will stay as well. So if there's something in the online store that, say, from Nancy's Knickknacks, or even some of my own hand-dyed yarns, some of my yarns will not be repeated. So if there's anything like that that you want, go in and grab it now, because I will not be restocking it, and I'm still tossing up about Tantec. So if you want some fiber scour or delicate wash or felting finish, jump in and grab that now, and I'll sort of decide. Spanish Chick says no more Notions cases. Yeah, so I've tried to order more, and their online store is being painful. They currently have nothing available on their store that I want to order right now. So I've tried to put in a reorder this week, and I've sent emails and I've not heard a word, and it is a little bit frustrating. Knitspin Girl says no more yarn. No, there will still be yarn. There'll still be yarn, but some of the bases are going and they won't be restocked. I'm going to be changing up things a little bit with the yarn, but there will still be yarn, so it's okay. I'm just having a quick scroll through here. I bought this shirt. I didn't make it, although I do love it. I bought this from Threadless Tea, so or Threadless T-shirts. So I didn't make this one, but I do love, I practice stitchcraft, so I thought that, you know, that would be cool. 2021, it is. Kelly, the sound is good. I'm glad to hear it. Extreme close-up. I did not make my shirt, no. So yeah, so things will be changing. There will be no more fiber. I have pulled the trigger and removed what was left of the fiber on my website. At least I think I've got it all off. So I have pulled the trigger on the fiber. There will be yarn. I'm just keeping an eye out. My internet kept dropping off, so I think people are walking around in the house kicking my cord. So please bear with me if something, you know, untoward happens. Those of you that were here last time I was live, there was a problem with ads just popping in all the time. Please let me know if that happens again, because I will drop the monetization while we are live and I'll put it back up later. That was really, really frustrating, not just for me, but also for you guys. And I found out that if you skipped the ad, it skipped you to the next video. If you sat through the ad, you actually got to come back to this one. It was a little bit weird. By people, you mean Abby. I actually mean Tim and the dog. Abby's still asleep. She's on school holidays and she worked last night, so she's still snooze-losing. So I've had a really chaotic couple of weeks. So I've been really sick, okay? So I haven't even been hanging out with my Zoom girls, and I really miss chatting with everybody, but I just couldn't, like, deal with the razor blades that are in my throat. So one of the things that we have, for those of you that are not in Australia, we have a very low, we've been really keeping on top of this COVID thing. So, and one of the things is that our doctor's surgeries don't let you come in for a visit with anything ear, nose and throat related unless you go and get a COVID test and it comes back negative. So last week I went and got a COVID test, came back negative, thank goodness. But I just really, I've still got to go and make a doctor's appointment to go and find out what's going on with my throat, because it's driving me insane. It constantly feels like there are like little hot razor blades just in the back, just a bit, and not all the time, which is the other frustrating thing. So 1 minute it'll be fine, and the next minute it is not fine, and then it'll be fine again. My husband can't keep up. He's just like, are you all right? And I'm like, no, I don't even know what's going on. So have you not done that yet? No, I haven't, Kim. I haven't done it yet. I keep, like, because what happens is I get a bit of energy in the morning, I run around, I get a couple of things done, and then that's it, and I lay on a couch like this for the rest of the afternoon, have a nap, and then get some energy to cook dinner again, and then lay on the couch again. So it is, you know, it's not ideal. It's not, and it's not productive, which is driving me insane. So I'm a bit behind on a few things. If you're waiting for your Mystery Lace Club, I'm so sorry. I have not dyed it yet. It is coming. It looks like I'll send out December and January together. Keep an eye on your emails for Mystery Lace Club. There'll be more information coming up there. Do you need nagging? I don't need nagging. I just need energy, and I need to feel like I can drive. Rebecca's saying, I've been trying to find yarn for my poncho in Lopi yarn is getting difficult. Can you order it directly from, where's Lopi come from? Is that Sweden or Norway? So stop eating. Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about running around and doing things like buying things. Okay, let's do that. So yesterday with my 10 minutes of energy, I went to JB Hi-Fi, which is our local big box electronics store. And I bought a iPad. So I now own an Apple product. So if you guys, I've got some content that I'm going to be coming at with you with some different apps and things like that for iPads. And I'll be doing some great videos for those. So if you've got a favorite app that you use on your Apple device, send it through, not so much in the chat, maybe send it through in a DM or something like that, through Instagram. Now, something I wanted to say, total topic change. Sorry guys, my brain is just like, way more than usual even. So we're only 80 people away from 2,000 over on Instagram, which is so exciting. I don't know why I'm so excited about it, but I am. I'm excited. I like round numbers, so hitting that 2K will be really nice. Knitspin Girls I had a revolting head cold before Christmas, got a COVID test, then went to my doctor, and we did the consult in the car park. Yeah, that's the thing. They don't want you in the building. If you are sick, they don't want you inside. Kathy says, Chantel with an iPad. Oh my, was that a decision while you were ill? Yes, it was, Kathy. Yes, it was. You guys know how I feel about Apple. Those of you that have been here for ages know how I feel about Apple, right? And one of the things I don't like about Apple is how exclusive it is. So there's apps that are only available in iOS, so in the Apple App Store. And I've managed to get around it mostly, but there's a couple of things that have happened recently that have made it that I just really, really want access to. And the FOMO was real. And I'd planned to buy a tablet this year. It was in my goal to buy a new tablet. I was thinking Android, honestly. And then my daughter got in my ear, who isn't total Apple fangirl, and then some friends of mine who are not biased either way. They like both Apple and non-Apple products, and they were even having a chat with me about it. And so one of the things was on my Cricut, there's this really cool part of the Design Space app, which is available on iOS and desktop, which I have it on both. Sorry, it's available on Android and iOS and desktop. But the iOS version has some extra things in it. Like, you can cut out the different bits of vinyl that you want, put them all down on the board, and then go into the apps, into the iOS app. And there's actually a button down the bottom so that you can scan or take a photo of your mat with all your bits where you want it, and it'll come up in Design Space, and you can move your cut images to make sure they fit in the right spots according to the mat. And it was just like, well, why isn't that available in the other apps? You know, frustration station. And there was just lots of little things, and I had a friend of mine who was like, well, I bought an iPad like 5 years ago and it's still going, whereas I know my husband, he bought an Android tablet. He goes through one every sort of 1.5 to 2 years before they start really slowing down and bricking. And so I just saw, and my daughter, she's got an iPad mini that she has had since she was in year 6, and she starts year 11 this year, and she still uses. Don't blame me, I didn't even push it. No, I'm not blaming you, Kim. Kim did not get in on the conversation until I said, hey, I'm thinking of buying an iPad, and I think Kim fell down in shock. But yeah, then there's some other apps that some of my tech friends use that are only available on iOS, and it was just like slowly more and more things were only available on iOS, and I didn't want an Apple phone. So I thought, well, I'm going to buy a tablet this year anyway. Let's make it an iPad. So I picked up an iPad Air. I've got it sitting over here, and it's monitoring the stream today. So it's a bigger screen for the stream monitor. I always monitor the stream. That's how I knew that there were problems happening with the advertising last time, even though, you know, I was getting the same problems. So not exciting. I know. Let's go down into our double camera. I'm just gonna have another sip of my tea. If you guys got any questions justifying, oh yeah, I'm totally justifying my purchase. You should have seen me over the last couple of days trying to like justify even considering purchasing it. It was insane. Spanichick says it's one of those things, if you want market saturation for your app, you go iOS. Yep. So yeah. So yeah, it's there. Okay, let's go down to our double camera. Actually, before we do that, before we go double camera, I want to say thank you, big thank you to those of you that are running over to my Redbubble store and picking up some of the cute things that we have available there in the various different logos. Things like that make it possible for me to make some decisions about changing things up. So stop playing with my hair. I know it was getting in my face, Kim. It was driving me out the wall. So it was, sorry, Mum. So between things like Redbubble and Patreon and making purchases in my web store, so I just really appreciate those of you that go in and do that extra mile. I appreciate those of you that come in here and watch the live streams and watch all my other videos and sit through the ads and make it so I, get them, 0.001 cent views. Woohoo! But I really do appreciate those of you that step out and go that extra little mile for me, and I want to go the extra mile for you guys now. So that's my goal for this year, 2021, year of the video. Rebecca says, does Chowview make a 16-inch DPN? No, I don't believe they do. Does anybody make a 16-inch DPN? I don't even know. That's quite a long DPN. They make an 8-inch DPN. That's the longest that they go. Kathy got her second Ninja mug yesterday. Fantastic, after it went around the world. John was whining that the coffee cup wasn't big enough. This one. Then what you can do is on my website, if you go to the Fiberific merch section, there's another spot that you can buy coffee mugs. And that's through Printful. That will be shipped from the US. It's a different company that do them. And they have an option for a huge mug that's ridiculously huge, but John might be happy with that one, but it'll just have a single logo on it. Okay, I'm going to top up my cup because the aircon in here is blowing quite cold. Kim knows nothing about the cold aircon blowing on the back of your neck. It chills down my drink quite fast, so it's really helping, but I have to keep drinking it, otherwise my throat dries out really fast. Okay, let's go to our double camera. Okay, we've got our spindling. I've got some, what is this? This is stuff I've been spinning off and on for years, right? So this is the second spindleful. You guys know I don't do the fast craft. I don't do fast craft here. I now have two. It showed up after Redbubble said it was lost and would send me another one. Bucket-sized coffee. Oh, thank you, Jackie. That's the link for the bigger mug. So yeah, that, I don't know if that's more John's size for mugs, but we'll see how it goes. So I sort of did and didn't test this. I did, but I didn't. Does that make sense? So if it's too hard to see, let me know and I'll try and, I don't know if a black tablecloth will make that much difference. I could just spin a bit thicker, I suppose. Make the yarn thicker. What have you all been working on? I have missed you all so much, and I haven't heard, like, I've been keeping pretty quiet on the socials and all that sort of stuff. So what have you all been working on and doing? Let me know in the chat. It's been quiet. I have not done much in the way of craft. I sewed a bag. It's just a little, I left it, I meant to bring it out, but I left it inside. I just sewed a little, like, tools bag in my Star Wars fabrics, but that's about all I've done. There was one day where I just had a bit more energy than other days and sat at the sewing machine for a couple of hours and got that done, and then went and crashed on the couch and couldn't even wake up to make dinner. So yeah. It was an overuse of things. Kathy's working on the Sacred Space blanket and finished 11 hats. Kathy, you are going hard, lady. Rebecca has just finished her mum's slippers. That's awesome too. I love gifting. As long as we're gifting to people that appreciate our gifts. I've just realized I've broken the tip off my spindle. I wonder when that happened. That's disappointing. Hopefully it doesn't catch the yarn too much. We've got lots of noise in the neighborhood today. I can hear the dogs outside losing their minds. So I'm sorry if you guys can hear that. It's definitely not as loud as the air conditioning. So if you can't hear the air conditioning, there's a good chance you can't hear the dogs. So we'll see. We'll see. I went to, look, you know when your brain says, oh, look, you've got time, you're not well, sit on the couch, work on your queen. You've got the air conditioning on. So I sat down on the couch, grabbed the bag that's got the queen in it, And I literally sat there with the bag in my lap just staring at the television for an hour before I realized that I hadn't even gotten it out of the bag yet. That's where my brain's at. I'm in total craft mojo land. And that in itself is doing my head in. My poor Snowy's not well, Kathy. We've, for those of you that weren't here, we had to take our lovely Snowy dog to the vet. She had been very unwell and was losing weight rapidly. And we've had some testing and what have you done, and we've found out that our poor old dog has got bladder cancer. And so they've given her sort of 4 to 6 months to live with some medication. The medication that is on is also proven that it can extend some dogs' lives. So we'll see. But at the moment, she is much better. She is nearly back to her usual self. She is chasing the postman, and she is sleeping better, and she's eating again, and she's gained her weight. So it's all positive stuff for the diagnosis, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Kelly says, I'm going to have to restart knitting a scarf I've been working on for the 4th time. I'm just not happy with how it's turning out. Oh gosh, I understand that. Wow, but frustration station. Which end am I working at this one? So, and also because it's hot, Snowy's just been sleeping a lot as well. Yeah, look, we were very worried when we first took her to the vet. We didn't think she would have very long at all based on some of the symptoms she was having and the fact that she wasn't eating. She lost over 1 kilo of her body weight in less than a week, which she's a small dog. She's mini Foxy Cross Chihuahua, so 1 kilo or 2 pounds is a lot to lose for such a little dog. It was like a sixth of her body weight. Yeah, I think she lost 1/6 of her body weight in a week. So yeah, Spanner Chick finished a blanket in just over 2 weeks. Oh my gosh, wow. Spanner Chick, did you have a time pressure on that one? Makes it hard to try again. Yeah, it does. Are you going to try a different pattern? Rebecca says, I haven't decided on my next project, so I want to do the poncho gola, but I haven't found enough yarn for the colors I want. That's tricky, isn't it? I really struggle finding yarns that I like in enough colors that I can justify spending the money on. Does that make sense? So Holly Anderson is, Alderson. Holly, my maiden name was Anderson, so every time I see your name, I think of Anderson, and I'm sorry about that. I'm currently working on the Secret Yarnery's January cal. That sounds fun. Mum's birthday's on the 19th of the month. Chunky yarn and 10mm needles. Good job. I'm just having a look here. What is the January cal? Is it, oh, it's a secret, no, the Secret Yarnery's January cal. So is it a secret cal, or do you know what you're making? Kim, was that the really bright, colourful blanket that you made that you don't like the look of, but you know your mum will? I saw a photo of. Because I really liked that bright colour, swirly blanket. I thought that was great. So you knitted a blanket in under 2 weeks. That's insanity. How big a blanket? Was it like a knee rug, or I don't know, like seriously, how big? It's like, I thought you crocheted that. I'll do it again, but work in the round rather than turning each row. Designer intended to turn, so you only knit, but the join isn't great, so I'll just knit a row then put. Yeah, sometimes you just got to work out what works for you. Especially if the join isn't great. So let me just, so you're knitting in the round, is that right? And the join's not great. So is there something that happens right at the join? Yeah, that's the one. I didn't like the variegated yarn. 130 by 110. That is massive effort, Kim. Were you like just doing that and nothing else? Like seriously, good job. Joss is working on baby crochet items for the new granddaughter that's coming in April. That's so exciting. Speaking of things coming in April, I've got to confirm how many more spaces we have left for our Fiberific retreat. But it looks like we've only got about 4 spaces available. So if you want to get in on the Fiberific retreat, send me a DM or an email, and I'll send you the form, and we can go from there. Kim says, yeah, it was pretty much all I did for the past fortnight. Gosh. Yeah, I'm not surprised. That's insane. Good job. That's a huge effort. I mean, you're saying 10 mil needles, chunky yarn, but still, that's a lot of stitches. Don't worry about, most people want to say, Anderson, the secret yarnery is YouTube. Yeah, oh, yeah. It's a cute baby blanket. Yeah, I love the girls over at the Secret Yarnery. I haven't watched much YouTube lately. Do you know what I have started watching? Guilty pleasure time. I started watching Bridgerton. Now, I tried to start watching it when it very first came out, and I got about 10 minutes into the first episode and was just like, nope, this is trash. I can't deal with this, right? And then so many of my friends were like, no, you've got to get through the first episode. Just get through the first episode. Well, I'm hooked now. I'm hooked. I watched 5 episodes yesterday. So I'm just like, far out. I mean, there's a few things in it I don't like, right? There's a few scenes and I'm just like, really? Was this necessary? So I just am not the biggest fan. But I'll tell you one thing I'm a huge fan of is the music. What they're doing, and not for everything, but if you listen, it's modern music that's being classicalized, if that makes sense. So it's really quite interesting how they've done it, and I really appreciate that. And there's a lot of music in it. So yeah, I really like that. Let me have a look here. Knitspin Girls is knitting a boxy by Hohi Locatelli. Miles and miles and miles and miles of stocking it. I'm using some yarn from deep in the stash. Hey, Freaky Geek. He's having something to munch on. Awesome. That's cool. Oh, gosh. It's so good to be back on here, you guys. And I really appreciate you jumping in and saying g'day. Are you guys having any problems with ads today? Jumping, like, forcing their way in? Because we are monetized today. Maybe it was just a glitch. It could have been a glitch thing the other week, because that really messed with my head. Hey, Bub Curran. So yeah, just so many things. So many things. No ads so far. Awesome. Thanks, Kathy. I mean, I would have hoped for an ad at the start, but no ads in the middle. So that is cool. Let's knock wood, everybody. Knock wood. We don't want it to start up now. Now, I'm going to be really honest with you. I don't know how long we're going to stream for today because of my throat. It'll get to a point where I just can't talk anymore. And I probably will pull the pin just before that point if I can. But what I noticed yesterday was I'd be talking along, feeling mostly okay, and then my voice would literally just become squeaks. So that was frustrating. My husband thinks it's hilarious. He's like, what was that? What would you say? Someone at YouTube pulled out the wrong cord. Yeah, or press the wrong button or something. I don't know what was going on. But I asked questions and no one had answers for me, so I should have come over this morning. I could have taken over. You could have. You totally could have. Kirby says, I've been noticing YouTube has a lot of ads in videos. A video that might have 1 ad has 3 lately. So what happens with YouTube is in January, there's a lot less ads. So a lot of companies do massive ad spend in December for the lead up to Christmas. Then January, it's a bit quieter. So a lot of creators don't make much money in January because even though their show still runs or whatever, there's no one placing ads. So, excuse me. And then what happens is sort of towards the end of January and leading into February, the ads start picking back up again. But YouTube have changed some of their rules and they tried to sneak a thing through without people noticing. But there are some very clever people out there who really watch the changes in terms of service. And one of the things that YouTube has decided to do, and I don't know if it's happened or if it's rolling out, but they're starting to put ads in at the end of people's videos as well. So before you have a video, an ad at the start, if you allow mid-roll ads, sometimes there's a few through the middle. I personally don't allow mid-roll ads. And there was a screw up back ages ago when they first, like last year, they changed how that worked. And I didn't flick a button in time. So I had a whole pile of mid-roll ads appear in some of my videos. So I've been slowly going through and trying to reduce some of those down when I've got time, when I've got a chance. And then, but now YouTube is starting to bring in ads at the end. And the other thing is, YouTube have decided that they're going to start playing ads on people's videos who aren't in the YouTube Partner Program, which means YouTube gets all the ad revenue, which is a little bit of a sting, because the reason the partner program became how it did, where people were not eligible for it, was because YouTube wanted to go in and individually vet every YouTube channel that applied for the partner program, which is how you get paid for your videos. Not everybody automatically gets paid. And now they've decided that they're just going to run ads on everyone's channel, and it's kind of like, oh, well, what's the point of making people jump through all the hoops for the partner program then? So yeah, it's weird, and I get that YouTube need to make money. It's an expensive job. Like I have a website. I pay for hosting on my website. There is no way I could afford to host all my videos, even just the ones that I have, let alone more. And so YouTube let us host for free. So I've got no qualms with YouTube taking their cut of the pie. This is their platform. They've built it, and I have no issues. But I take issue with, oh, hello. I take issue with them going, everyone must pass this test to be eligible for partner program, because we want to make sure that ads are only playing on channels that aren't too controversial or, you know, not true. They had a problem with things like that as well. Conspiracy theory ads, like, you know, Coca-Cola found out that their ad ran just before a major conspiracy ad program, and they got upset. So that's where one of the things that caused adpocalypse was, you know, I think it was actually a Pepsi ad was played somewhere. I think it was actually Pepsi on that particular instance. But anyway, ads being played somewhere where the companies don't want their ads played. So Kim says, I have premium, so no ads. Yeah, I have premium too. But I don't have premium on my Fiberific account. I just have premium on my personal account, because I can't add my Fiberific account, which is weird. I don't like it. Spanichick says, I have CDs, which are modern music sung in Gregorian chants. Really? Is that good? Oh my gosh, my hands are not being my friends today. Also, this is quite spiky and sharp. I don't know if you can see, but it's snapped off and there's a hard, like, the spiky bit. Might have to sand it down or something. It feels wrong sanding down such a beautiful piece of wood, but it's sharp and bugger it. It's like totally bugging me. Marion says, I have premium worth every cent. Look, I agree with you. I love premium. I think it's fantastic. One of the things, like, for those of you wondering what premium is, YouTube have an option for you to pay for a service. If you haven't used your free trial yet, have a go. Okay, so, but what it is you don't get ads, and the creators get basically a share of your premium amount, which means that creators actually get paid a little bit more if you watch with YouTube Premium. But the advantage for us that have YouTube Premium are heaps. One of them is, and my favorite, is that I can, especially on my phone, I can have a video playing and be on Facebook, so I can listen to it. Whereas if you don't have Premium, if you go to another screen, it stops playing. So it has background play. The other thing that you can get is that you can, if you know you're going somewhere where you don't have internet access, you can download a pile of videos to watch offline, which you can only do if you have Premium, and YouTube Music. So that is fantastic. Marion's just like, no stinking ads. Like, and that's what did it for me. For me, it was all about the ads, and that's why I got it to start with. We've got a premium package for the family, so I think it was like $14.99 for one person or $17.99 for 5. So we went with the $17.99. So I mean, we don't have 5, but yeah. Oh, my throat's getting a little dry. Yeah, you can download the music as well. You can create an offline playlist, which is really handy for me. Like driving down to my mum's, there's this whole section of road that just has no signal, so we have to drop into the offline playlist. I definitely, as a music app, I used to prefer the Google Play music, because it automatically jumped into the offline list. Whereas, so you didn't have to sort of be driving along going, okay, music started back up. So yeah, you shouldn't be smelling the ads in the first place. That's right. I'm with Freaky. Stop smelling the ads, Marion. No. Sorry, I had to stop spindling for a minute. My finger's hurting, so I'm just going to come back up to our single camera for chatting time. Just realized I forgot to put all the lights on in the background, so I'm going to go and do that. Lights in the background. So you're all working on fun things. Do any of you planning like cool 2021 projects? Like, I was saying in another group, I'm not that person that makes New Year's resolutions, but sometimes I will have like a goal list of things I want to get done, and it's not like, you know, the stock standard stuff, but it's very specific. Like, this year I want to go on a family holiday, you know, somewhere nice. It'll be local. There we go. Colourful lights are on. That's better. I missed my light. Sorry about that. Google Play Music Google Play Music. So they created YouTube Music and then deleted Google Play. You could actually jump backwards and forwards for them for ages. So they were 2 separate apps, but they closed one down. And it syncs with Apple CarPlay. Oh, does it really? Oh, that's good to know. Freaky Geek says, I spent a good portion of the weekend spinning fibers. Awesome. Kim says, family holiday. One of the things that I realized, I was having a discussion with a friend. Is it a discussion or is it? I was chatting with a mate. Just chatting with a mate. And realized that we haven't had a proper family holiday in ages. Now, last year in, I think it was July, we went away for 4 days, just up to the beach. That wasn't, I don't consider that a proper family holiday because that was a last minute decision, no planning, no prep. Now, we enjoyed that. Like, don't get me wrong. It was a fun time. But I'm talking about something that's planned from woe to go that, you know, we get to look forward to for a few months. It's probably a little bit bigger holiday. Like, we haven't done that since Abby was in year 4. So we don't do the big holiday things. Part of it is Tim can't take Christmas time off because that's his biggest time at work. I can't usually do June and July holidays. Easter holidays are too short, and sometimes in September we just don't have time. So we really are limited, because also we don't believe in taking kids out of school for school holidays. I know some people are okay with that. I'm not okay with that. So we don't take Abby out of school for school holidays. She already gets, let me look, 8, 10, 13. She already gets 15 weeks of holidays a year. I'm not going to be giving her an extra week. So fitting it into the school holiday regime and Tim's calendar and my calendar, it's very awkward to try and find some time of the year to do something. So my goal is to have some time away. Now, I've got to save up for it, so it may not happen this year. But my goal is to start planning it and to be seriously planning it. Not like, I wish we were having a holiday, but like going, okay, we're going to have this holiday and I'm going to save this amount each week so that we can do this holiday. So yeah, but which I haven't 100% decided yet. So we'll get there. We'll get there. So I want to have some better time with my family. I realized that I don't really go out except for school run, groceries and post office, and the occasional coffee with a girlfriend. And that's it, unless it's work related. So I need to change that. So we have got the Fiberific retreat coming up. I've got a sewing retreat coming up. Now these are all things that are just, like the Fiberific retreat is technically work, which technically, the sewing retreats are just for me. So while I'm still making sure I get a break and get to, you know, enjoy my other crafts, it's not a family trip. And I want to try and do some more stuff with my daughter, but you know, I'm broken and she's not, so she's faster than me. Make it a wing it holiday. You make it up as your days fly by. Yeah, that's normally what happens. We normally go, that's it, we need a break. And then we find somewhere that we can drive to in an hour, that, you know, and then the problem is we've got all the pets, and yeah, anyway, I don't want to go too much into that. Cricket shopping trips. Yes, I've had a couple of cricket shopping trips this last few weeks. You know, I saw a really funny thing. I was like, just buy this machine for X amount of dollars, and they don't tell you about the thousands of dollars that you have to spend to make the machine go. It's a bit like that. You and Abby can come to a cricket retreat. I don't know, Kim. I have to see. I don't think Abby would bond, and would, you know, she's bossy. She probably would enjoy it, but she's very fussy with food, and she probably wouldn't eat most of the food that Leonie makes. She's very fussy with food. It's ridiculous. She is getting better. I will say she is getting better. Kim, bonding time, wrap them up in duct tape. Tell you what, yesterday, because I did not buy my iPad in the Apple store, I bought it from JB Hi-Fi. They don't put the screen protectors on for you, so I had to put it on, and I failed miserably, and I had to follow YouTube videos on how to get it off, because I got it all on nice and lined up and everything, but realized there was like a speck of dust, and Abby's like, look, just leave it, Mum, it's just one speck, it'll be fine, you won't even notice it once it's turned on. And I'm like, and you know, she went to work, and I'm sort of sitting there thinking, I can see this thing is driving me insane, because she was just like, don't pull it off because it'll drive you insane and it'll be worse putting it on the second time. Well, she was right. I pulled it off, I cleaned off the speck of dust, I put it back on, and then it was 20 specks of dust were in there, and I was just like, so I found a YouTube video on how to clean it all up and how to do it all right, and it's on now, and there's one speck of dust, but I'm leaving it. Jody says, my son was so picky, he wanted cereal for 6 years, now he's 24 and eats everything. Jody, I am really hoping that happens with Abby. Look, Abby eats a few things, right? But she's very, very, very specific about it. And so it's like, she likes sushi, but she only likes sushi from 2 different sushi places, and only specific sushis from those places. And she likes the things from here that do this, and different sushi rolls. And then, you know, it's just like, so yeah. She's definitely getting better. I will say that. She's definitely getting better. Kim says sticky tape. Yes, sticky tape works a treat. It's fantastic. It's absolutely awesome. So what happens, guys, is I just realized I'm wiggling around so much. My chair slides out in front of me because I'm a lean forwarder, and the chair slowly slides out, so I have to pull it back in. That's why I pay the nice lady to put the screens on. Oh, Kim says her local sushi store is closing. Oh, and Freaky's like, I'm like that with onion rings and poutine. We've discussed poutine before, haven't we? Like, I can't remember what it is. Can you tell me what poutine is again? I forgot. Is it like a potato thing? I don't know. But yeah, like, look, do you know what? And I'm the same. I've got some things that I like at some stores and some things I like at other stores. But if I'm only going to this one store and they don't have it, I'm not going to be all like, oh, well, then I'm not going to eat anything. I'll choose something else. Abby doesn't do that. She's just like, nope, and just sits there, just refuses. Nope. Chips, gravy, and cheese curds. Okay. All right. Chips and gravy with cheese blobs. I think you just told me how you feel about this thing already. I'm not the biggest fan of chips and gravy. I really struggle to eat them without, you know, wearing it. So we know how they are made. Yeah, it is one of those things. It's one of those things. My Canadian great-grandma must have passed that trait. Yeah, like sometimes. My grandma passed down my love of Turkish delight. My mum hates Turkish delight, but I love it. Abby likes Turkish delight too. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty good stuffs. It's pretty good stuffs. Have you guys got any questions for me? I feel like I'm a little bit out of practice because I've been not Zooming and I haven't been in live stream. I missed one. So I'm just a little out of kilter. If you've got any questions, like whether it's to do with retreats or yarn or spinning or anything, I may not be able to answer it, but I could try. And if I can't, maybe someone in the chat can. My granddad passed down his hatred of peas. See, I don't mind peas. Peas are okay. As long as they're in their own pile and not touching any of the other food. I don't like peas mixed into things, but I like fresh peas by themselves. Does that make sense? Not at all fussy. When am I coming to the States? Oh, Jody, I would love to come. And I was seriously contemplating coming over for a workshop, but I'll be really honest with you, with the whole COVID thing and you guys not handling it real great over there, I think I'm just going to stick home for a while, just until like all the vaccines are out and people haven't turned into zombies or something. So, because it's just like someone, you know, when someone says something and then it's like a little worm in your head and goes, it's, someone said, do you know that movie I Am Legend? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, it was like it was based in 2021. I'm like, okay. And then they're like, and the storyline is it was a vaccination that went wrong. And I'm just like, oh, okay. I'd totally forgotten like the story of it, but yeah. My dad is deeply suspicious of any food that's green. Yeah, look, I've always got to have a look because I really don't like kale. Jody, I wouldn't be embarrassed, but it is such a huge situation you guys are in, and I can't even imagine having to deal with it the way you guys have been forced to deal with it. And I know that it's not the most of, I know it's not the largest portion of your population that are doing this. And look, you know what? There are some serious like issues here as well. No country is perfect. And I don't want to make you feel bad for being American at all. But it is probably not somewhere that I would like to travel to for a little while. So, but I want to, because there's so many amazing people that I know and I want to go and hang out, but I'm just going to wait a little bit longer. Game Winner says, had the same thoughts about that movie. Yeah. Yeah, Mad Max is set in 2021 as well. Absolutely. My nephew won't eat the majority of the food we have in the house. He'll eat meat, pancakes with breakfast sausage and chips. We call crisps chips in the USA. We call crisps chips in Australia, as well as chips. So hot chips and chips. Just for confusion's sake. Oh, Jody, I'm so glad you made it into the live today and you can have some love from us here too. Yeah, I think it's more the English and the UK that call chips, crisps that aren't hot chips. I think, like, seriously, Australians, chime in. Do you guys all call them hot chips and chips? Like, fries and crisps are all chips. Yeah, we call everything chips. It's chips. We're like, that's chips. And, ready for this, sometimes we'll put chips, aka crisps, on a sandwich and eat it, as well as we will sometimes make sandwiches of hot chips. All the chips, that's right, they're all chips. And paint chips. Good job, Spanner Chick. Well done. It's all here, it's all chips here. It's all chips. Chips are yummy, and all the things except for wood chips and paint chips. All the potato chips are yummy. Just specify that. All the potato chips are yummy. I put chips on lunch meat sandwiches for crunch. Yes, that's the thing. Yeah, they do. They just add like crunch. I personally don't eat chicken chips, right? But I like chicken chip sandwiches. So, you know, how weird is that? It's very weird. I saw a post today that says sawdust is man glitter. Really? Kelly Powell says it's funny too because you say chips and people know instantly which type of chips you mean. Yeah, absolutely. It's like I'm going to the shop for chips. Which shop are you going to? Woolies. Oh, okay. Chocolate chips, yes. But chicken salt. Oh, okay, what are chicken chips? So, you know, like how you can have barbecue chips or salt and vinegar chips or whatever flavor. We have a chicken seasoning that we put on crisps and like twisties and things like that. And I don't like it that much, but for some reason when I put it on the chips with the sandwich on white bread and butter, so good, so good. We'll have to, next time we do a send out to US friends, I'll have to see if I can add in some chicken chips as well, because we quite often, if someone from the US puts an order on my website and they remind me, I'll try to toss in like a packet of Tim Tams or some mint slice or something like that, just so they can have a little taste of Australia as well. Or sometimes it's just like a little caramello koala or something. But I'll have to see if I can get like a lunch pack of chicken chips or something. That would be fun. I wonder if your chicken chips is our chicken strips. I don't know what chicken strips are. Isn't it weird? How's your Tim Tam? Oh, poor Kathy. Kathy got inundated. We sent a big Zoomy package to Kathy because Kathy's part of our Zoomy group. And yeah, we may have put in a couple of different things. I've seen that prawn flavored Pringles are a thing in the UK. I have questions. Do they taste like seafood or like Old Bay seasoning? I would assume seafood, but I don't know. I've not tried them. I'm allergic to prawns, which is really sad because they're delicious. Mint slices for the win. I'm with you, Game Widows. I prefer mint slices over Tim Tams any day. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, we're talking about food again and now my tummy's getting hungry. We have hot deep fried chicken shaped like a chip, so chicken chips. Yeah, they're like long skinny nuggets basically, and then they deep fry them and you eat them. They're delicious. So that's also chicken chips. Although most places do call them chicken fingers. The prawn chips you get from the Chinese restaurants don't taste like prawns. No, they don't. There's no prawn in them. I can eat them. I don't know what's in them, but they're delicious and they don't have enough prawn bits to set off my allergy. So take that back. Mint slice is not better than Tim Tam babies. Mint slice is better than all things Tim Tams, even mint Tim Tams. I'm not taking it back. Chicken chippies, that's right. Oh, yeah, chicken chippies. Oh, they're called the strips, okay. Oh, dear. Oh, you're wrong, Kim. Oh my gosh. We're so passionate about our things, aren't we? Like, you know, chicken flavored things and and I suppose we're the same when it comes to our yarns, right? And like I was having a think about it because I'm getting ready to set up some future video things, and I'm talking about yarns and things like that in them. And some people are so passionate about, you know, yarn A and hate yarn B, whereas there's just as many people who love yarn B and hate yarn A, and then there's some people in the middle that are like, oh, I'll use that one or this one, or they're all good. And it's the same as like the Tim Tams and mince slice discussion, sort of. We're passionate about what we love, so yeah, we will. We'll keep the mint slices for us, and Kim can have the babies. Can't beat chocolate and mint mix. I don't think so. I think they're a match made in heaven. Yeah, I love chocolate and mint and stuff like that. So, what's a live stream without a food discussion? Honestly. I think Abby is still asleep, unless, you know, she's not. She has, last night, like those of you that are in the Zoom, you know how bad, like how hard it is for me to get Abby to have a shower in the school holidays, right? Like at night. She's like up until midnight, and then I walk into her room and she's still sitting at her desk in her clothes. And I'm like, you haven't had a shower. Oh my God, get in the shower. Rah. Well, last night she wanted to try my new iPad, right? And she'd been at work and she'd come home. And then I said, if you go and have your shower and wash your hair, you can come and grab the iPad and use it until you go to sleep. And she was just like, and just walked off straight in the bathroom, had a shower, came out, did the hair, like, oh, look at my hair, all washed, all nice. And then she was like, can I please have the iPad? I'm like, okay, here you go. I'm like, sweet as, brew. So I have a new thing, a new bargaining chip for a while anyway, until she gets bored with it. I'll use it while I can. Jackie Doyle is working, but in your jammies. Look, I'll be honest, I didn't get out of my jammies till 10 minutes before this live stream. Because I was just hanging around. I was on some calls and stuff like that, and just listening and not really talking too much, but a little. Admittedly, yesterday I tried to conserve my voice for today, and then yeah, anyway. Your Abby is still asleep as well. That's good. I actually quite like, because Tim's currently working, my husband Tim. So those of you not in Australia may or may not know this, but here in Queensland, which is the state I live in, we had a new COVID case, like one. And outside of hotel quarantine, we are getting them within the hotel quarantine, but we got one outside of hotel quarantine. And it was a quarantine worker, and she tested, all our quarantine workers get tested once a week. So she'd done one test, she got negative, and then by the next test she was positive. So she had this 5-day period of time in the community. So, and it was the more virulent UK strain. So what they did here in Queensland was they actually shut down everything in the southeast corner. Like, so the area where I live, the area where my husband works, so like a few councils were closed down. And my husband's work had decided that, right, the government's shutting us down till Monday. Everyone can work from home till Thursday. So he's been working from home this week. And the other day, like on the weekends, he goes in and harasses Abby. And it's just like, get out of bed, it's 10 o'clock, get out of bed. When he's at home working, if you start talking, he's like, shh, shh, don't wake up Abby, shh, shh. Because he gets more, because he's working like, that little office that we have in the house is only about 6 meters from our daughter's bedroom. So he's just like, shh, 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 be quiet, don't wake her up. Because in the mornings, Abby's full of energy and it's like, rah, come and get you. And he can't get any work done because she's like in his face. So, yeah. Oh, goodness me. I totally forgot there was a stream today. Sat down to take a break and spotted it 3 minutes before it started. Oh, Vampire, up till last night, I was still tossing up if we were going to have a stream. And then I decided about 7 o'clock that I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep talking until my voice goes. So today's stream may not go for 2 hours, but it'll go until either my brain gives out or my voice gives out, which, you know, could either of these things could happen at any minute. Kelly Paul says, I don't like variegated yarn because it needs a simple stitch to look okay. I really struggle to buy hand dyed because I don't know what it will look like. Do you have any tips? Yeah, look, I agree with you, and it is a tricky thing. There are some really fantastic patterns out there that are designed for highly colored yarns. And some of those are really fantastic, like Hermione's socks look fantastic in really like crazy variegation. The problem is, especially for a lot of us hand dyers, we can't always make up samples. And then the other problem is our sample may not use the same stitch repeat as what you're working in, and you may end up with like color pooling that isn't shown in the samples, which is also annoying. So and also variegated yarns or like short striping yarns look dreadful crocheted up. So and that's kind of why I go for more like a semi-solid tonal variegations, because they're more subtle and the colors do change and they're still changed within a stitch, but it's not like jarringly obvious with some of my colors. Others are. I don't really have any tips other than trial it and look at it and see what you think. And if you don't like it, frog it back and start again. There's some like Kylie from Fiber Lily Yarns. She does up samples in both knit and crochet of some of her colors. I don't know if it's all of her colors, but it's some of them. I know I try to, but I run out of time and I don't get there. But it does make it tricky trying to work out what to do with hand-dyed yarn. I tend to just use them as accents. Like I like a good semi-solid with just a little pop of the brights or the multicolors. But I really don't know what to suggest other than finding patterns that recommend a variegated yarn. And like your variegation will look different, obviously, if it's not the same dye. But sometimes, especially now, a lot of designers are designing with hand-dyed yarns. The other thing is to check out people that design with Malabrigo and Lorna's laces. Again, they're sort of more like in-your-face variegateds. So that's all I can really suggest. It is a tough one. It's a real trial and error. So after he wakes her up on the weekends, does he leave the house and leave you to deal with her? Quite often, yes. He'll be like, wake her up, and then he'll go off to like an appointment. Why buy the yarn if the hand is what's very funny? Not yet. Noro is another one. Absolutely. Absolutely. But all I can really suggest is go and hit places like Ravelry. I personally have no problems with Ravelry. I know some people do. I personally am fine. Go and check Ravelry and see what other people have made with that yarn if you can, or see what other people have done with the pattern. I tend to go through and like say a pattern's got like, I don't know, 20 makes on it. I'll go and check all the ones that have pictures and see what I think. But yeah, I really don't have any hard and fast tips for that, I'm afraid. I've yet to see how Ravelry has changed. So Freaky Geek, what the controversy is that apparently, and I don't know anyone personally with the problem. I know some people that are up in arms about it, but I don't know anyone personally who has this problem. But apparently because Ravelry got rid of that grey background and made it white, it has been bad. Now, if a white background is bad, then there's a lot of websites people have problems with, including mine, because my website has got a white background as well. And so does Amazon and eBay, and so many other websites have a white background. So I don't really understand the full issues of the problems. Now, I had some of the aesthetic choices were not my favorite, like the shadows around the boxes, but they made it so you could choose not to have that. So I chose not to have that. But different people with different medical problems, I don't want to diminish anyone's issues. But I personally don't know anybody who has had seizures from the new changes on Ravelry, because that's apparently what's been happening, is some people have been having seizures from being on Ravelry. I've heard of stories of someone who knows someone who had seizures, but I don't personally know anybody. So yeah, it's a tough call. It's a tough call. And making sweeping changes to a very large website always has dissent. So when Facebook changed its stuff up a few years back, everyone had a bit of a whinge, but everyone settled in and was just like, whatevs. I mean, I've got bigger issues with Facebook than how it looks. Like, hello, you sneaky algorithm who's checking out my other stuff to work out what to advertise to me. Freaky Geek says, must be hard on the eyes, I guess, but seizures are caused from flashy lights, are they not? I think there's different reasons that cause different people to have seizures. Flashy lights is generally a definite, no-no. But Ravelry has no flashy things happening. They basically went from grey to white. And yeah, it's a little harder on the eyes, but I don't spend that long on there. I don't spend hours on Ravelry, or at least I really try hard not to spend hours on Ravelry. So, but I know a lot of people have been really, really upset by it, and upset by Ravelry's responses or lack thereof of responses. And there's some very vocal people out there who are trying to build their own versions of Ravelry so that they can go there. Kirby says here, the long-standing issue with Ravelry has to do with their lack of action protecting copyrighted patents. The white background is just the newest thing. Yeah, look, you know what? And that's an issue in itself, is copyright. I've been seeing this thing come up in my Facebook feed of this company that are selling all these Disney files for using on your Cricut and things like that. And someone asked, is this a commercial license? And they're like, oh no, there's no license, it's personal use only. That means that they don't have the rights to sell it. So they've just basically gone and grabbed all this stuff, made it, and selling all this Disney stuff. Copyright is hard, and protecting copyright is hard, which is why there's a lot of problems with YouTube as well, because a big discussion point in YouTube is protecting people's data as well. Like, I know of one YouTuber who someone literally downloads their videos, and then re-uploads them to their own channel. It doesn't change a thing. And it's this guy's face, and he's talking, and it just means that it's been re-uploaded somewhere else, and they're getting the monetization. And YouTube try really, really hard with very expensive software to try and pick it up, but they miss stuff all the time. So I can't imagine how hard it would be for a company the size of Ravelry, which has 4 staff members, to protect and look after hundreds of thousands of patents. Now, it's not to say they shouldn't try. For sure, they should definitely try. But yeah, there's a lot of issues. Bub says, I'm just old and change makes it so I just have to learn something new. Absolutely. I don't use the site that much and just notice I have to sign in and I don't recall logging out. That happens sometimes. Some websites, when they do a security change, will make it so everyone has to log back in again. Sorry, I'm laughing at Lindsay. You saying CryCut properly makes me double take because it sounds wrong now. Thanks for that. You're so welcome. I'm saying it like how Kim says it during the live stream, because Kim gets angry at me later if I don't, but I still call it a CryCut at home. So when I'm not in public, it is a CryCut, and when Kim can hear me, it's a cricket. Vampire says, I get headaches from the bright white backgrounds, but I just set the PC to night lighting to view them. Vampire, I'm the same. I have every website that I can set to a black screen, like set to dark mode. I love dark mode. I think dark mode is fantastic, and I think it should be available everywhere, and I think it should be an automatic thing, and I'm looking at how to do that for my website as well, because it's not a thing with the actual theme that I have. It's not a doesn't have a dark mode theme. But if you go into Google Chrome, they can actually force a dark mode into a lot of apps, which is really helpful as well. And I personally just do that for everything, so I don't notice a lot of the problems because I have adjusted my end, my user experience to change it a little bit, like what you've done. But yeah, nearly every commerce site now has a white background. It's a lot cleaner and shows colors more clearly. There are a million good reasons why you have a white background, honestly. As a person who chose a white background over a dark background, my original, I'm not sure if any of you guys remember, my original website was very dark. But yes, from an economic perspective, our eyes are less strained from a black background and grey writing. So, funnily enough, I am right now looking at all my screens here are set to either black or grey with white or light grey writing, because that's how I automatically set everything I can to. And that's the thing to remember, is just because a website does a thing the way it does doesn't mean you can't go in and check your settings and see if you can't change it. So sometimes some of it comes down to the individual taking action for themselves. Ergonomic, not economic. Thank you, Orbs. I appreciate that. And that's the thing, like as adults, sometimes it's up to us to see if we can adjust things to make us more comfortable in our software settings. So it's just a really, and I know it's not always possible. I get that. I 100% get that. But we do need to be responsible for ourselves and take responsibility for ourselves and check settings, because there's a lot of things that you can change in your settings. Which is one of the things I don't like about Apple, because you have less options for changing settings in Apple than you do in anything else. Says Chantel, who just bought an iPad. Wow. Okay. We're going down a real big rabbit hole right here, and I'm a bit nervous, honestly. People who expect others to adjust to them specifically all the time are being unreasonable. There are too many variables to cater for all the different needs. Jackie, you're right. But in saying that, I think for accessibility, there should be options for people to make changes, and they should make those changes. So, does that make sense? Like, I don't like it when there's a problem and there's no way to make a change. So like with Ravelry, there's some people that are like, well, I don't even like the options that you've given us. But you can go into your browser settings and make changes on your personal devices that aren't everybody's experience across the site. So iOS has dark mode. Kim, when I see you next, you're going to have to teach me some iOS stuff, because I don't know where to find the things. Yes, but sometimes that is good. Too many settings get overwhelming. Yep. And I understand that Apple have a specific customer base that they aim at, and they go hard in that one direction, and I get it. That's their business, and that's how they're doing it. I just don't always agree with it. Hey, Cakes by Chopper, welcome to the chat. If anybody has not noticed, Chopper has been putting out some corker videos lately, so you need to go and check them out. It's not just Apple that autocorrects. Oh my God, no. Lisa, my phone, which is Android, has been doing insane autocorrects on my stuff. It is doing my head in. I think it's just autocorrect in general is just trash. Make things reasonably flexible so people can choose for themselves. Yep. Absolutely, I 100% agree with that statement. I think make things reasonably flexible. Like, I'm not saying people should be able to choose from 900 colors, but you should totally be able to choose from light mode and dark mode. So Chantel can't type their nails. No, I can't. No, my latest ones, these ones, you guys, these ones are much better than the last Christmassy ones. They were quite long. These ones are still long, but I think I'm getting better at making less mistakes. What was happening is I'll be like trying to tap on my phone and the fingernail's covering the letter, so I think I've got it, but I'm actually hitting the letter under it or next to it. It's very bad. If she has an iPad, how come she's not using it? Well, I am. It's over here. It's my stream monitor. Thank you, Chopper. I love my shirt too. I've tried changing so much in my settings. It's changing meanings all over the place. Oh gosh. Stylus, yes, I agree with you. Stylus all the way. Yes, definitely. I have my Fiberific pen now that I keep with my, I know what he meant. I know what he meant, Spanish chick. I was ignoring him. Or ignoring his insinuation. But yeah, no, I grabbed the Fiberific pens with the stylus on the end. I don't have one handy to show you. They're all over there. And I'm not going to get up and go and get one. Yeah, no, don't have one. Not handy. Not near my phone. But yes. Apple Pencil. Look, I am seriously contemplating adding the Apple Pencil to my little Apple thing here. There's a spot for it in the case I bought, so I could put it in there. Yeah. I don't know yet. I don't know. I'm still deciding. I don't know if I'd use it enough to warrant it because they're like $200. I have mine in my YouTube merch drawer. Is that your Fiberific pen? Is in your YouTube merch drawer? Yeah. Well, you're right. My so I use my Fiberific stylus on my phone. And at the moment, I haven't used my iPad enough to warrant anything because I only bought it yesterday morning and then I had a big sleep yesterday afternoon and didn't touch it. So Jackie says, I have Intuit stylus. So Chopper, you use an Apple Pencil, don't you? You did all your beautiful drawings. Is that right? Or do you use an off-brand? So yeah, we've managed to go quite long. My voice is still holding out. We need to be watching her use her phone too. I need love. No! No! You guys get to take the mickey out of me enough. You don't need to watch me trying to type a message with stupid nails. It's very bad. The Apple Pencil changed my life. Kirby says don't bother with brand Apple accessories. Generic works exactly the same. You can get a stylus at a buck store. I've got buckets, like boxes of styluses here, but I don't know if I should check to see if they'd work on an iPad. I don't know. I haven't tried. But they're big and they're big, fat, squishy ones, so they would be no good for actually drawing. You can, but yeah, because that's the thing with the Apple pens. They really have been designed. I've heard a lot of really good stuff about the Apple pencils. They've really been designed, especially for artists. Not me, I'm not an artist. Who, you know, angles and pressure change. Like when you're working with paper, it changes the nature of your drawing. It's the same thing with the Apple pencils. So, Vampyre's got to go. It's feeding time at the zoo. Bye, Vampyre. Have a great day. Yeah, the Apple pencils are a bit like, and because it's the same thing with this the Surface Pro pencils, Abby, because I've got my Surface Pro, which Abby's currently using at the moment, and it came with a pencil or pen. They call theirs pens, which is why I keep calling the Apple pens when they're pencils. Abby keeps correcting me. It's doing my head in. Chopper says, I've drawn with a few, but nothing works like the Apple Pencil does. It just feels natural for my drawing. And I think that's the point of it. And that's, and they've really tried really, really hard to make that the case because they're really pushing it towards the artists. I was looking at just note taking because I'm like queen of the notepads. I have like notepads everywhere, and I was just thinking if I could use my iPad for taking notes instead of notepads, it might save me some bucks on notepads, but it's going to depend on how it feels, if that makes sense. Does Abby have a newer iPad or just the mini? No, Abby just has the mini that she got in year 6. So what is that? That's 5 years old. So, yeah, no, hers is pretty old. Like she's been drooling over mine for the last couple of days. It's, well, not the last couple of days, but ever since I mentioned that I was thinking about getting an iPad, which was a couple of days before I posted it on socials, Abby's been like, you should get an iPad, Mum. You should get an iPad. And then yesterday, night before, like not last night, the night before, I said to Abby, I think I'm going to go and buy an iPad Air. And she was like, weren't you just going to like look at the iPad? And I'm like, I like the look of the iPad Air better. So, and I was just like, okay, all right, cool. So, and then yesterday morning, Abby's woken up early-ish for her. I was like, Mum, are we going iPad shopping today? I'm like, no, I don't think so. And she's like, if we don't do it this morning, I can't help you set it up. So it's like, fine. So we went iPad shopping, and she's, every time I was like, I've walked into the shop and spoken to the lady, and we've come out, and Abby's just like, I'm so proud of you, Mum. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Time for a drink. I don't think the drink's helping anymore, Kathy. I think it's done its dash. So if you buy a pencil, it won't be compatible with hers, so she won't steal it. No, I bought Abby an off-brand pencil for her iPad mini. But yeah, if I buy a pencil for this one, it's the Pencil 2, I think. Anyway, it would be different. Spanish Chick says, I still don't feel like the feel of writing on glass. I saw an ad for something called Paperlight. That makes it seem like oh, there you go. You can get a cover that makes it feel like paper. That's what I saw ads for. I mean, I don't know if I would go that far, but yeah, there's things that you can do that make it less slippy. And I think that would be something that I would look into if I decide to use it for more of that sort of stuff. Chopper, does it like, because I'm assuming you've got one. Does it change like the imagery, and can you take it off and on, or is it just like a screen protector that feels a bit more like paper? Yeah, if you get an Air, make sure your pen is compatible. Yeah, the Airs are compatible with the 2s, not the 1s. John's chatting on his iPad. The autocorrect sucks. Yeah, I think we've been saying that before. Autocorrect in general sucks. It's the glass that sticks on. I'm confused. John was picking on me, everybody, by the way, in the DMs. He was picking on me. You know, you can turn autocorrect off. Yes, you can, but I still need it. Like, sometimes the bad autocorrect is still better than what I typed. Oh, it's a glass screen protector. Okay, because I've got a glass screen protector that I've put onto this, a tempered glass screen protector. So, the cover, it's a glass covering that makes it feel like, so I would take the glass screen protector off that I've put on and replace it with this other one. Is that right? No worse than you picking on me, Freaky. Like definitely in the same vein, without a doubt. Okay, cool. Thanks, Chop. But yeah, no, it's just trying to like get my head around new technology. Like, you guys know I love the toys. I love the toys a lot. John, I'm still not on chart 2 yet. I'm still not there. I'm like 5 rows off. Yeah, but chart 2 of my queen. Which number queen are you on? Like 5 or something? I'm still on my first one. Lisa prefers picking on me in public. Yeah, I know. Gosh, Lisa, everyone got me lost, but oh well. Oh, it happens, Lisa. Not Lisa, sorry, Rebecca. I get lost all the time. Oh dear. Yeah, you guys are awesome. It's fun. It's fun. John and his coffee cup size insecurity. Hey John, were you here when we were talking about where you can go to get the bigger Fiberific mugs? Because I'm not sure if you were. Because it's like double the height of this. But it's just got a single logo on it. It's through a different printer than what these ones are done. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, my voice is definitely on its way out now, guys. I think I'm going to call it so I don't go completely squeaky. So we managed to do like an hour and a half, which is way more than I thought I'd be able to do. It's a big enough cup to hide behind, probably. I mean, it's not like this big. It's this big but tall. Oh, you got a pointy one. Okay. Oh gosh. All right, my guys, I'm going to call it. Thank you so much for jumping into today's live stream. I know it was a bit short notice that it was going ahead. Hopefully next week I can do a full 2 hours. I'm slowly getting back into the routine of everything. It's time for me to go and find something else to drink that's not this tea. And I will see you all next week. But keep an eye over on the socials. And if you want to say hi, send me a message. I try to respond. And I will talk to you all next time. Be good and keep crafting.